Good evening.
Good evening, campers.
Good evening.
Well, this is so exciting. Camp Constitution.
I know.
You've been waiting a year for this. You have the 6 best days of the year, and we're right now 1 day into it. And we have a fabulous instructor for you tonight who sat about 10 years ago where you sat. He was a camper. And Mr. Nowak is not only a very successful instructor, but he's also a very successful member of the John Birch Society, who has led chapters. He is now a section leader. He has recruited many people, probably 24 or maybe more people into the John Birch Society. And he is here to give you instruction tonight. So let's give a warm and excited welcome.
Thank you. Just want to say that if you want to interject and ask questions, feel free to raise your hand and interrupt. I think that's better rather than you waiting to ask me, so that that gets addressed right away, so you don't forget what you were trying to ask. All right. So I want to start off. What kind of government are we supposed to have in America?
Republic.
Republic. Okay. What kind of government do they want you to believe that we have?
Democracy.
Well, democracy. That's what they want you to. They want you to believe that we have a democracy. So let's do it this way. Well, what's a democracy? Before we get to republic.
Something bad.
Yeah.
Where there's a vote on something,
Okay.
that more people vote on that thing than another group.
So that's if there's more in one group than another group.
Yeah.
What do you call that in the bigger group? What's that called?
Majority.
Majority. Okay. So it's the will or the rule of the majority, right? So if the majority say, okay, how many of you are below 5 foot tall?
No.
Just you?
Raise your hand.
I'm 5'1.5".
I'm 5 feet exactly.
All right, 5 foot or below. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, 2. Okay, so we're gonna vote, and we're gonna say everybody under 5 foot, we gotta kill them. That's it. Good job. Good job. You have your rights. I'm done. Let's just sit down. It's just kind of a demonstration. I didn't mean that literally, but basically, when you have a democracy, it's more like mob rule. It can lead to a dictatorship or an oligarchy, which is ruled by the elite few. Typically, that's what it turns out being, and that's what you don't want. You don't want a democracy. We don't pledge allegiance to the democracy for which it stands. Okay, but that's what society today wants us to believe. So we are a republic. What's that mean? In the back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Like you vote people to make your decision.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, we have what's called, what's a better word? We vote for people. We have,
An election.
representatives. We elect representatives.
That's what I meant.
Okay. That represent us. Okay, that's basically a republic is the rule of law under God created by a constitution. That was exactly from your test. A federal republic, that is a federation of states bound together by way of a constitution. So basically it's a limitation on power of the government where you have rights. And where do your rights come from? God, yeah. So God gives you your rights, then comes man, and then the states. The states created the Constitution, and then look where the federal government is. It's at the bottom, right? So what's the federal government supposed to be?
It's supposed to be.
The weakest or the strongest? The weakest. Who said the strongest?
You. You did, you stupid child liar.
Strongest?
You said the
No,
strongest.
that's kind of true. It's what we have today.
You
I voted
stupid.
Trump.
Hey, he said I was right.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the federal government's supposed to be the weakest part of that whole pyramid there. And it's not. Okay, God gives you your rights, you have individual rights, and what's the role of government? Why was the Constitution written?
Set boundaries.
To
To have rules.
have rules, okay.
Set boundaries.
Set boundaries to,
So.
Keep people
don't
straight.
kill people.
So you can have more rights?
well, to protect your rights, your God-given rights. Okay? You already have them from God. So government does not give you any rights. Rights come from God.
Amen.
And then the government is supposed to protect your rights by having a constitution. And they're supposed to follow it. But that's definitely far from the case today, and we're going to get to that. Okay, so if the states, oh, not there yet, actually. We have a Republican government. Does that have anything to do with the Republican Party? Republican government?
Probably.
No, right? Okay. Figured I'd point that out. It comes from the Latin words res and publica, the public thing, or which that belongs to all of us. Okay, so the states created the federal government. Okay, so who's supposed to be in charge of the federal government? The states. But so the state's supposed to have more power. But again, that's not the case today. In fact, the states are much. Yes.
It's like the federal government flipped the entire scale over.
Yeah.
So they're on top of the scale.
And in fact, God pretty much doesn't even exist. That's what they tell us. And if God doesn't exist, then you have no rights, and your rights come from government. If your rights come from government, they can take it away.
But why do they say that if border
Yeah, well,
like why do they say that if like on quarters or something it says in God we trust?
on the dollar bill, why does it say in God we trust?
Yeah.
Because that's who we're supposed to trust in. It, on our money, it says in God we trust. That's the way. Yeah.
And like, so when the president's sworn in, he says like, so help me God.
Yeah.
But
We still have some sort of acknowledgement for God today, but that's fading away.
and Obama said that, and isn't he like Muslim?
Yeah. Tells you something about our
So
president.
isn't he like lying to
Yes.
himself?
He's lying to all of us.
Because he's stupid.
He's
I don't know if he's stupid,
don't
but
know that.
I think he's smarter than you think.
He's like logically smart, but he's not like morally smart.
Okay, I want to be able to hear his questions.
They're gonna change, I'm pretty sure they're gonna change the oath to take out the God thing, and on the dollar bill, they're gonna take out in God we trust, and maybe
Still.
say in government we trust.
Maybe, I don't know.
That
That's really up to you
In
guys. You guys are
government
gonna have
we
to
trust.
stand up for your rights and
yeah.
demand that sort of thing doesn't happen, that we don't lose our country, and that God is acknowledged, that we do see God as being at the top, and that our rights come from Him,
Amen.
and that government is its servant. Government is our servant. We run the government. So that's gonna be your task, our task. That's what we got to do. Now, some of the quotes that I'm going to take from are from the Federalist Papers, which was written by it was a series of newspaper articles written by three of the founders, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay. On page 289 of the Federalist Papers, number 45, Madison said, "The powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined." So what's that mean? The powers of the government are
You and little.
Not
few and
a lot.
defined, so do they have a lot of power?
No.
Their power is limited.
There you go, that's a better word. It's limited. They don't have a lot of power. They're only supposed to do a few things that protect our rights and our liberties, and that's pretty much it. But that's not the case. The former will be exercised principally on the external objects as war, peace, negotiation, it goes on. So basically what's being said here is that power of the government is supposed to be very limited, very few things that they can do. What's written in the Constitution that's it. That's what isn't written they can't do. Okay? So how many branches of government do we have? Three. Okay. So we have, and list them in order. You want to give it a try?
In order,
Of their power, according to the Constitution?
I don't know them in order, but I know them.
Say 'em.
Oh, just list them.
Actually,
Okay.
I know two.
Okay, which two do you know? We'll
The
get to
legislative branch and
Okay.
the judicial branch.
Okay, legislative is first. Okay, there's the judicial branch. What other branch is there? Give it a try.
Oh, wait, wait,
You want to give it a try?
wait. No, I don't.
Executive.
Executive, okay. So what order should they go in? Brianna?
Legislative, executive, and judicial.
Okay.
Whoa, that was way too
Legislative,
fast.
executive, and judicial. And why is that? You know why, Brianna?
Because the legislative is more important than
More important, they're more powerful.
the power.
They're supposed to be more powerful. So it ranks in their power. Yes.
The reason the legislative has more power is because they create the bill and it has to be passed by the president. And if
It has to be signed by the president. Has to put it into law.
the law. And if the judicial finds it unconstitutional, they have right to impeach it.
If they find it to be unconstitutional, then we get rid of it. Yeah. The legislative writes the laws, the executive enforces the laws, and the judicial branch interprets. That's the law. That's what it's supposed to be. Yes. Question?
So in the legislative, they have the president and the Congress.
No. The president is with the executive branch. In the legislative branch, there's two branches in the Congress. Okay. The Congress puts itself up into two. It's called the House of Representatives and the Senate. And how many members does the House of Representatives have?
100?
It's the other one. That's the Senate. The Senate has 100.
50.
Not 50.
24.
More than that, the House of Representatives has.
257?
But I had like 600.
More.
25.
More than 257?
435.
That's way.
We have 435 members in the House of Representatives and 100 in the Senate, so that makes up 535 altogether. So if you open up the Constitution, Article 1, okay, is the powers of Congress. So they come first. They're given the most power. They're given all the legislative power. It says, open up your Constitutions to page 1. Everybody have one? Take it out. I want you guys to look at it. You don't have yours? Well, you should have it. So, you should bring it to every class.
Wait, didn't we
Carry
issue
it.
these things?
Yeah.
We just got these like 2 seconds ago.
No, that's not. No, this.
No, this one.
Those ones are in our folder.
With George Washington's
You
picture
should.
on it.
I know, but I don't have that one. Is it in this one too?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, it has our.
Susan, roll book.
Oh wait, it's right here.
Who doesn't have a
Who
constitution?
doesn't have?
Okay. Oh, you probably did. You probably did. I'll get you
You're gonna
a.
get a constitution.
It's in your packet when you first signed up, when you first came to camp, in that brown, you should be curious, you should look inside there, okay? That's where, who has that one? So put this one back, all right, when you're done with it,
I got it.
okay?
We should bring those to every class.
Bring it to every class, right? Just like a textbook. It's in there too, that's right. Make sure you put them back in the table.
Section 1.
Whatever. Insulted Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so what does that say, Anthony? You want to read it out loud? Article 1, Section 1?
All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives.
Okay, so the word all means all legislative powers. This is kind of common sense. So they have all the power. Okay, so does the president have any legislative making power? Can he make any laws? Write any laws? No, the laws have to be
Made by the
written by Congress and passed by Congress. And then they go on the president's desk and he signs it if it passes both houses of Congress. So they have all the legislative powers. Okay, so that's what makes them the most powerful branch. That's the way it was supposed to be today. That's the way, that's the way it used to be. But we don't have that. We don't have the rule of law. And I'll explain that. I'll explain that a little later. The powers that Congress has is in Article 1, Section 8. There's actually a class on this later. Mr. Kagenza is going to teach that. I'll just kind of briefly go through that. Article 1, Section 8 on page 6 lists the powers of Congress. And this is all they are basically supposed to do. Okay, these powers are enumerated. They are spelled out. Okay? So this was to limit the federal government and what it could do. Limit Congress and